The United Kingdom has introduced a new system for international visitors called the Electronic Travel Authorisation, or ETA. It's really important for anyone planning a trip to the UK to understand what this means for them. Essentially, an ETA is a digital permission to travel to the UK. It's not a visa, but rather a pre-clearance for travellers from countries who do not traditionally need a visa for short stays. Once your application is approved, the ETA is electronically linked to your passport. This new system is part of a wider initiative to modernise and digitise the UK's border controls, making travel smoother for many while maintaining security. So if a UK visit is on your horizon, listening carefully to these details will be key for a hassle-free journey. Before we start, we request to like and subscribe if you find this video helpful. The primary reason behind the introduction of the ETA scheme is to enhance the security of the UK border. The government aims to have more information about individuals intending to travel to the UK before they arrive. This allows authorities to identify and prevent the entry of those who might pose a security risk. By requiring travellers to provide biographic, biometric and contact details, along with answers to questions about their suitability and any criminal history, the Home Office can conduct checks in advance. This proactive approach is designed to strengthen national security and ensure a safer environment for everyone within the UK. It's a significant shift towards a more digitally managed border, aligning the UK with similar systems used by countries like the USA, Canada, and Australia. The ETA scheme wasn't rolled out to everyone all at once. It was first introduced in late 2023, initially impacting nationals from Qatar. Following this, it was gradually extended to include other countries in the Gulf region, such as Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates, as well as Jordan. Then, a significant expansion occurred from early 2024, with the scheme opening up to many European nationals who previously could enter the UK without any form of pre-authorization for short stays. This phased approach has allowed the system to be tested and refined, ensuring it operates effectively as more nationalities are brought under its remit. It's crucial for travellers to check if their nationality now requires an ETA. It's vital to distinguish between an ETA and a traditional visa, as they serve different purposes. An ETA is for individuals who are nationals of countries that have a visa waiver agreement with the UK for short stays, typically for tourism, visiting family or friends, short business trips, or brief periods of study. A visa, on the other hand, is required for longer stays, for specific purposes like long-term work or study, or for nationals of countries that do not have a visa waiver agreement with the UK. Importantly, holding an approved ETA does not absolutely guarantee entry into the UK. Final admission remains at the discretion of Border Force officers upon your arrival, just as it always has been. So, who exactly needs to apply for this new electronic travel authorisation? The general rule is quite straightforward. If you are planning to visit the UK for a short period, typically up to 6 months, and you do not currently need a visa to enter the UK for such a stay, you will most likely now need an ETA. This also applies if you do not already hold another form of UK immigration status, such as indefinite leave to remain or a valid UK visa for a longer purpose. The scheme covers visits for tourism, short-term business activities, transit, if you pass through UK border control, and short courses of study. It's a broad change. So many travellers previously accustomed to visa-free entry will need to adapt to this new requirement. To give you some clear examples, nationals from countries like the United States, Canada, Australia and New Zealand, who have long enjoyed visa-free short stays in the UK, now need to obtain an ETA before they travel. As mentioned, since early 2024, this requirement has also been extended to nationals from many European countries who are not Irish citizens and do not hold a specific UK residency status. This means if you're planning that holiday from Paris or a business trip from Berlin, you'll need to factor in the ETA application. The list of countries whose nationals require an ETA is being updated progressively, so it's always best to check the official UK government website for the most current information pertaining to your nationality before you plan your travel. Now let's talk about who doesn't need an ETA. There are several important exemptions. Firstly, and most significantly, British citizens and Irish citizens do not need an ETA to travel to the UK. Irish citizens can continue to use their passport or Irish passport card and enjoy free movement under the Common Travel Area arrangements. Furthermore, if you already have permission to live, work or study in the UK, for example, if you hold indefinite leave to remain, settled or pre-settled status under the EU settlement scheme, or a valid UK visa, like a student visa or work visa, you will not need to apply for an ETA for travel to the UK. Your existing immigration status covers your entry. There are a few other specific categories of individuals who are also exempt from requiring an ETA. If you are transiting through a UK airport and you do not pass through UK border control, this is often referred to as an airside transit. You generally won't need an ETA, but it's crucial to confirm this with your airline. Holders of a British Overseas Territories Citizen Passport or a British National Overseas Passport also do not need an ETA. Additionally, individuals who are ordinarily resident in Ireland and are travelling to the UK from within the Common Travel Area, Ireland, Guernsey, Jersey or the Isle of Man, are exempt. Finally, children travelling on a specific France-UK school trip travel information form are also not required to obtain an ETA. Applying for your UK Electronic Travel Authorisation is designed to be a relatively straightforward digital process. Most people will find it easiest to apply using the dedicated UK ETA app, which is available for both smartphones and tablets. The government recommends using the app as it can often provide a quicker decision, sometimes within minutes. Alternatively, you can also apply online through the official gov.uk website. Whichever method you choose, the most important thing is to apply for your ETA before you book your travel to the UK, or at the very least, well in advance of your departure date to avoid any last-minute complications or stress. This ensures you have the necessary permission before you travel. To complete your ETA application, you will need to provide several key pieces of information. You'll need your valid passport, and it must be the same passport you intend to use when you travel to the UK, as the ETA will be electronically linked to it. You will also need to provide your current contact details, including an email address. A recent digital photograph of yourself that meets the specified requirements will also be necessary. The app can help you take a suitable photo. Finally, you'll be asked to answer a set of questions relating to your personal details, travel history, and any criminal convictions. It's crucial to answer all questions truthfully and accurately to avoid issues with your application. There is a fee associated with applying for a UK ETA. As of our current information in June 2025, the cost for an ETA application is £10 per person. This fee must be paid as part of the online application process. It's important to be aware that government fees can change, so it's always a good idea to check the official gov.uk website for the most up-to-date fee information before you start your application. This £10 fee is non-refundable, even if your application is ultimately unsuccessful. Compared to the cost of some visas, it's a relatively modest amount, but it's an essential part of the process that all eligible applicants must complete. Once you've submitted your application and paid the fee, you'll receive a confirmation email. The processing time for an ETA application is generally quite quick. Many applicants, especially those using the app, may receive a decision within minutes or a few hours. However, the official guidance states that you should allow at least 3 working days for a decision, as some applications may require further checks or manual review. Interestingly, official guidance states you can travel to the UK while awaiting a decision on your ETA, provided you applied before travelling. However, it is generally advisable to have your ETA approved before you check in for your flight or journey to avoid any potential issues with carriers. Once your electronic travel authorization is granted, it's important to understand how long it lasts and what it permits. A UK ETA is typically valid for 2 years from the date of issue. This means you can use the same ETA for multiple visits to the UK during that 2-year period, which is very convenient for frequent travellers. However, there's a key condition. Your ETA remains valid for 2 years or until your passport expires, whichever of these 2 dates comes first. So, if your passport is due to expire in less than 2 years, your ETA will only be valid up until your passport's expiry date. When you get a new passport, you will need to apply for a new ETA. During its validity period, your ETA allows you to travel to the UK for stays of up to 6 months at a time. This covers a range of activities including tourism, visiting family and friends, undertaking short-term business activities such as attending meetings or conferences and engaging in short courses of study that don't require a formal student visa. It's important to remember that the ETA itself does not grant you the right to work in the UK or to access public funds. It is purely a pre-authorization for travel for specific short-term purposes. Now, what happens if your ETA application is unfortunately refused? If your application is not approved, you will receive an email confirming the decision, and importantly, the reason for the refusal will be provided. It's crucial to understand that there is no formal right of appeal if your ETA application is refused. If you still wish to travel to the UK, you would typically need to apply for a standard UK visitor visa or another type of visa relevant to your circumstances, which is a more detailed and often more costly process. In some limited cases, if an application was rejected due to a simple error, like a typo, you might be able to reapply for an ETA after correcting the mistake, but a formal refusal based on suitability grounds is more definitive. To ensure your travel plans to the UK go smoothly under these new rules, planning ahead is more important than ever. Our best advice is to apply for your ETA as soon as you start thinking about your trip, and certainly well before you book flights or accommodation. Double-check that your passport is valid for at least 6 months beyond your intended stay in the UK. Critically, ensure you use the exact same passport to apply for your ETA as you will use when you travel. Keeping a digital or printed copy of your ETA approval can also be helpful, although it is electronically linked to your passport. By staying informed and preparing in advance, you can navigate the ETA system with confidence and look forward to your visit.